Hey guys, it's Benedictines. I like the view, man. I like the view. Now, since I was a little kid, I always felt like there was something wrong with this reality. I didn't even know how to explain what I felt to other people. Now, I always felt like there was something wrong with this reality, but I couldn't even explain to other people how I really felt. But it was obvious to me since the beginning that something was wrong. Everything seemed to be upside down. It seemed to me that evil always found a way to win. It seemed to me that in this realm, evil always wins because everything is upside down. I've seen a lot of people who were really good, who had good intentions, who wanted to do right, lose. And I've seen a lot of people who were really bad, who had bad intentions and who wanted to do wrong, win. In this world, you have to be manipulative. In this world, you don't tell people the truth. In this world, you mustn't do things that are going to put you at a disadvantage if you want to win. And being real, being honest is going to put you at a disadvantage. But if really what is important to you is realizing what is going on, if really what is important to you is to actually evolve and reach higher levels of consciousness, you must be willing to walk through fire. That is the only way. Because in this reality, if you're going to be real, if you're going to be yourself, you're going to face serious problems. Like you're gonna be hated for real. There will be a lot of things that are gonna happen to you that are unfair. Just because you are real, just because you're not fake, just because you're waking up. That's part of waking up. If you were in a relationship with a person who did not love you, if you were in a relationship with a person that was manipulating you, that was controlling you, if you started realizing that this people doesn't love me, this people is manipulating me, this people is controlling me, you will see their true colors. They're not going to be fake anymore. They will show you who they really are. Why? Because they see that they are going to lose you. So they would rather try to use the power that they have to control you. If you're going to be real, if you're going to stand for the truth, this matrix is going to fight back. You are in hell, and that is the truth. This matrix is going to fight back. If you are going to be real to people around you, this matrix is going to fight back. You're not supposed to be real. If you are going to be real and be honest to yourself, this matrix is going to fight. You see, everything is upside down. Being real is going to put you at a disadvantage. I have never seen people who are really real win. The truth will always win, but here's how the truth wins. The truth wins when the lie is no longer working, but a new lie will be invented. I want you to understand that. We live in a very evil world. The truth usually wins when the lie itself is not working, or where it's no longer necessary, when it's no longer necessary for the lie to be used. Like, that's why people get to see the truth later. You tell them the truth now, they won't see the truth until the lie is no longer working. Until the lie is no longer necessary. That's when they see, oh yeah, we've been lied to. We've been, like, people don't see the truth when it's actually necessary for them to see the truth. You see, that is the problem. So the truth will always win in the end because people are going to be able to see it. But by the time when they see the truth, the problem is that a new lie will have been invented, and that lie will be used to control them. You see how evil this world is. So let's say 100 years from now, we actually do realize that we've been lied to about the religions that we believe in. By that time, there will be a new system put in place to control us. And we won't be able to see at that time that this new system has been created to control us. And there would have been many people who have suffered telling people the truth. There would have been many people in history that would have been killed just because they spoke the truth. They didn't win. They lost because they were speaking the truth. But people are going to see the truth. And by the time when people really do see the truth, those people will be gone. They will say, oh, so and so spoke the truth. So and so spoke the truth. No, they didn't win. Just because years later you get to realize that the person that you used to think was evil was actually right. They were not evil. You just didn't understand them. It will be too late. That's how it always works. This realm is so evil that the truth will only be seen when the lie is no longer necessary. If you're going to speak the truth, when the lie is still necessary, you will see that this world is really evil. You will see how this matrix is going to respond. You are supposed to be fake. You're supposed to play this game, bro. Everything is upside down. Things ain't working the way that they need to be working. Good people always lose. You try to do right without manipulating people, they're gonna turn against you. That's how it works. It's scary, but that's how it works. You can try to help people, like genuinely try to help them, and they actually turn their backs against you because you are not manipulating them. Ever been in a relationship with a person that you truly loved, that you truly cared about, and you were the best person that they could have had because, well, you were treating them right, you were doing everything that they wanted, you were real with them, and then they left you for someone that you knew beyond any reasonable doubt didn't care about them. That's how life works. You tell people the truth, they're gonna hate you for telling them the truth. You tell people lies, they're gonna love you for telling them lies. You see, you have to tell people things that are gonna make them addicted to this matrix, that are gonna make them think that this matrix is good. You see, you lie to people. In this reality, everything is upside down. We are being manipulated everywhere we go. You are being manipulated. You are not being shown the real truth. Everything is backwards. So who are you to stand against this matrix? If you want to be free, you have to stand against it. But trust me, if you're going to stand against this matrix, you're going to deal with a lot in your life. You need to be strong. You need to be ready. If you are real, if you are honest, if you are integrous, if you're not lying to people, if you're telling people what you really think, because the truth is what you really think. I want you to understand that. It's not that people do not think the truth. The problem is that the truth is not easy to accept. Of course, we do see things as they are, but then there's no benefit for accepting things as they really are. There's no incentive to like really being a good person. There's nothing to gain. There's no incentive for being a good person. There's nothing to gain. So people are able to see the truth, but their own brains reject the truth because there's nothing to gain from seeing the truth. So if you really want to really see things as they really are, you must be willing to suffer. You must be willing to suffer. You must be willing to walk through fire. You hear something that you don't like, you don't just say, well, let me try to hear what I love. No. You listen, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you listen, try to think about it, try to see if what you're hearing is the truth. It shouldn't matter how it makes you feel. I think that people who are really honest with themselves, people who are suffering in this world because they are honest with themselves, people who are suffering in this world because they are honest with other people, people who are hated because they are honest with themselves and they're honest with other people, I think they're doing the right thing. I think the best way to actually ensure that when you leave this world, when the time comes, you're going to a place where these things that are happening are not going to be happening. I think the best way to ensure that you're going to go to a better place is to actually reject this world. I think we're eternal. You shouldn't care that you suffer in this world for like maybe 30 years, 40 years. I think we're eternal. Don't accept bullshit. If you see that something is bullshit, do not accept it. Just because you want to feel good for a certain period of time, you must stop complying, even if it means that you're going to suffer. I remember someone commented in the video that I uploaded last, where I was talking about the importance of really being yourself, the importance of being real. That person said, nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. No, it's not about what works. Of course, it's not going to work. If you're going to be real, the whole world is going to be against you. That's how it works. If you watch the last Matrix movie, you'd see that that's what was happening to Neo. Whenever he tried to figure out what was going on, the Matrix will fight back. You see? That's what happens. That is how I know the world is evil. I wouldn't think the world is evil if when I try to do the things that are right, I was getting good results. I wouldn't think that the world is evil if when I tell people the truth, they really understood that, oh yeah, but this is really the truth. Listen, throughout history, people who spoke the truth were hated. It was only realized later that these people were speaking the truth. People do not appreciate the truth at the time when it matters the most. That is why I tell you that the truth never wins. Even people who speak the truth never win in this reality, but you shouldn't care if you're not winning in this reality. It shouldn't matter that much to you. Unless you still want to play this game and, get most of the things that you want and, have a lot of people love you, a lot of people understand you and all. But if you really want to free yourself, if that's really what matters to you, then be real. There's no other way. You cannot free yourself without being real, because The more real you become, the more you see things as they really are. You see? The more honest you are with people, the more they show you the truth. Like, if the world was good, being honest would actually make people respond good. If you tell people the truth, they will actually respond well. Like, oh yeah, this person is being honest. But if you tell people the truth and they start to hate you and they start calling you names, they start saying that you were sent by the devil, you know something is not right. You see? You know that something is not right. Why is it that when I'm really honest, people don't seem to understand me, but when I'm not being honest, they seem to understand me? If you watch the Truman Show, you realize that in the Truman Show, whenever Truman wanted to do something that we all knew as the viewers that he was actually supposed to do, something will happen to prevent that from happening. You see? That's because he was living in a world where he was being manipulated. He was in a world that was not good to him. He was being manipulated. He was not supposed to wake up and realize that, oh, the world that I live in is not good and I'm being manipulated. No, it's not. None of this shit is real. I'm being lied to. He was not supposed to wake up. No, his friend would be there, telling him things like, oh, you mustn't go to the place that you want to go to because something bad is going to happen if you go to that place. Have you not watched the news? Have you not read the news? Have you not read the newspaper? That we're being manipulated. I actually think that the truth is where they're saying we shouldn't go. Like, the truth are in the books that we're not supposed to read. Like books that were written by, what's the name of this guy? Is it his name is Crowley. I forgot his surname is Crowley. Is it Alex Crowley or something like that? I think the truth is in the books that we are not supposed to read. I think the truth is in the places where we are not supposed to go. I think the truth is with the people that we're told we shouldn't listen to, because everything is upside down. I think Gnostics were right. Everything is upside down. Whenever I make videos where I talk about how evil God is, I usually mention that between God and the devil, I actually think that the devil is the good guy. What do I mean? I mean that he is better than God. That's what I mean when it comes to morality. I feel like even if he was evil, he was not as evil as God. But we're told that, oh, this is the one who's really evil. This is the one that wants to do this to you. But when you look at what God did in the Bible, you realize that no, actually God is the one that did a lot of things that were messed up. The devil didn't do a lot of things that are messed up. So that's why I'm saying that to understand the truth, it seems like you are supposed to go where people, where they're saying we're not supposed to go. You are supposed to pay attention to things that they're saying we shouldn't pay attention to. When you read the Bible, try to really understand it. Be as open-minded as possible. You don't just read the Bible because you think that God wants you to read the Bible and he's going to bless you. He's going to, help you get the things that you want. Read the Bible. Like, actually read the Bible. Open that book and read it. You will see how evil the God that we've been given is. But that is not easy to see because everything is upside down. So we being told that, oh, believe in God, you must love God with all your heart, blah blah. Like, no, this world is so evil that you mustn't believe what they say you must believe. Try to open your mind to new things. Don't just listen. You've been indoctrinated. What was done to you is so wrong that to free yourself, you must undo all the things that have been done to you. You see, you must try to reverse the programming, because you've been programmed. Sometimes when I'm talking to internationalists, even though I know that internationalists are woke compared to a lot of people in our society, there are some things that they say to me that make me realize that we've been lied to so much that even after we've woken up, we're still in a trap. Let me give you an example. An internationalist would say something like, I saw a picture of this lady dressed like this, Like, why would people even dress like that? That is, like, they don't realize that they're still thinking like bots. They're still judging people for something as stupid as dress code. Like, oh, people must all dress the same, If other people do not dress the way that I feel is normal, it means that there's something wrong with. Like, no, you're still in the trap. You must be so open-minded that you understand that the way that you think isn't really the way that you should think. You've actually been programmed to be you. You've been programmed to think the way that you think. Be so open-minded that you are able to accept. And I'm going to say something that's going to sound very controversial. Be so open-minded that you are able to accept a person who decides that they want to change their sex. I'm not saying love them. I'm not saying be friends with them. I'm saying to accept. Like, don't judge. Be so open-minded. I want to show you why I say you should be that open-minded. I want to show you something. You believe that a person who is born a male is only normal if they want to be a male. Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that a person must not have freedom to actually change their sex if they feel like, well, I do not want to be a male anymore, I want to be a female? Isn't it because of how you've been conditioned to think? You feel like that is evil. And I'm saying this because there is a part of me that feels that way, and I've been trying to unprogram my mind. I've been trying to be so open-minded that I accept people for who they are, even if what they believe is in what I believe, even if the way that they live life is different from how I live life. I mustn't be like, well, this is how I've been programmed to think. So if a person decides to dress like this, I must feel like there's something wrong with them. If a person decides to have a tattoo, I must feel like there's something wrong with them. If a person decides to change their sex, I must feel like there's something wrong with them. No, that's how I have been programmed. I've been programmed to accept this reality. I've been programmed to accept the reality where a person cannot change their sex. You see? Like, okay, that's normal. You can't, even if that is possible. I've been programmed to think that that is evil. even if that's what's going to make that person happy. So that person must be miserable because I've been programmed to believe that a person mustn't change that sex. You see the problem? You must be so conscious that you see things as they really, like, you must be able to see the deepest truth. It is true that it seemed crazy to us that a person, might want to change that. So like it is true. It is normal to feel like there's something wrong with that person. But what is more true is that no, there isn't anything wrong with that person. That person is just different. That person just thinks differently. I do not understand. Like, that is what's more true. I do not understand them. I do not understand why they feel the way that they feel. And it will make more sense for me to not stand in the way of that. It will be good to try to have a conversation with them to see if they really want to change their sex. I must try to understand them fully. Like, okay, this is who you are. I see now. I see that this is who you are. I would never do what you're doing, but, well, we're different. But human beings still want to play this game where they're trying to, like, change everyone into them. Like, if you're different, there's something wrong with you. Like, you are insane if you are different. You shouldn't be different. You should just be like everyone else. Everything is upside down in this world, man. Being real isn't something that's considered to be good. I mean, they will say, well, be real, be honest. But really, if you are going to be honest, you will see that people are not going to react good. That's why I'm telling you, everything is upside down. We all know that people should be honest. But when people are honest, we react very negatively. You see? Because everything is upside down. When people are being really good, we react very negatively because everything is upside down. But we do know that, yes, it will be better if we live in a world where people are honest, where people are really good, where people really do have good intentions, where people are really curious and, and they are actually trying to understand things as they really are. Being curious is good. You are in a world that you don't understand, you must be curious. But I have suffered a lot because I'm curious. Because I will ask the deepest questions. You see? So they'll tell you, be curious. It is good that you're curious, and then you ask them the deepest questions. Okay, what's going on in this reality? What do you think this reality is? Do you think we're in a simulation? Do you think we're in a dream? Do you think that God is real? Do you think that the Bible is true? Do you think that the Quran is based on truth? But what do you really think? Okay, what I think is that this world is more like a dream, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think that there's a God. Oh, you're evil. You're evil. You see that there's something wrong with this world. You are considered to be evil when you are actually doing what you need to be doing as a human. That proves to me that everything is upside down. You see? You are doing exactly what makes the most sense. If I was given a platform where I can talk to everyone in the world right now and say, be honest, be real, be authentic, speak the truth, everyone will agree with me. Everyone will agree with me. But if people started being real, if people started being authentic, if people started being honest, you will see how they would be treated. You see? That's why I'm telling you, everything is upside down. We all know people should be real. We all know that people should be honest. But if you're going to be real, if you're going to be honest, there's going to be consequences. You're not supposed to be real. You're supposed to be honest in this realm. That's how I know that we are in an evil world. I'm not supposed to really speak my mind. I'm not really supposed to say what I really think. I'm not supposed to say how I feel about school. I'm not supposed to say, how I feel about the idea of, like, work, getting employment. I'm not supposed to say what I really think about religion, I'm not supposed to say what I think about indoctrination. I'm just supposed to, play this game like everyone else without thinking deeply about anything. Because people don't think deeply about anything at all. It's so scary. People do not think deeply about anything at all. And these are the people that you live with. These are the people that are easy to control. So, of course, the people who have real power are going to use these people to control you, to try to make you comply. Because if the majority of people are complying, you're kind of forced to comply. If the majority of people are saying that you are wrong, and if the majority of people are going to hate you for being right, you'll be forced to comply. Like, okay, whatever. This reminds me of this other episode of South Park where Butters, if you've watched South Park, you know Butters. Butters felt like the girls at their school didn't want them to be who they really are. The girls at their school didn't want them to be boys. So he'll go on strike with the other boys and he'll pull his dick out. Stand in front of girls with his dick out. Because his dick is what makes him a boy. So, he wanted to be who he really is in front of girls. There's this young boy called Carl. Carl is always the voice of reason. He's smart. He's usually right. You see, when he's being lied to, he realizes that he's being lied to. He's able to see things as they are. So when his friends are doing things that make no sense, he will be like, nah, what you're doing doesn't make sense. Here's what I think we must do. And he tried to explain to Butters that, no, this is not how we should do things. But in the end, because all the boys turned against him, he had to join them. If you can't beat them, join them. So that's what's happening in this world. Because the majority of people are doing things that do not make sense, you're kind of forced to join. Because you can't beat them. You are outnumbered. See, you live in a world where you are totally outnumbered. Love Sugar Cane. You live in a world where you are totally outnumbered. So you're forced to comply. You're forced to do stupid things because if you do not do these things, you're going to suffer. You're supposed to believe things that make no sense because everyone around you believe these things. So I'm telling you, everything is upside down. People do not believe what they believe because it's the truth. They believe what they believe because they are trying to survive. You cannot tell me that a world like that is not evil. You can't tell me. A world where you can't really speak your mind. If you speak your mind, you're going to have problems. No, that kind of world is evil. There is something wrong with that world. The reason why when people send me messages, when people try to call me and they try to talk to me, when I'm available, I'm going to talk to them, is because I know how hard it is to be real. I know that people who watch my videos are real. Or let me say, they are realer than most people. They are more honest with themselves than most people. And in a world like this, those kind of people really do suffer. Those kind of people do get crucified. This is where you're at. You are in hell. You are in a world that is not good. You are in a world that is not controlled by people who are good. You're not in a world where the people who are controlling it want you to be happy. You're not in that kind of world. They do not want you to be happy. They do not want you to be free. They want to use you. They want you to be their slave. They don't want you to be like them. They don't want you to be who you really want to be. They don't want you to take reality for a ride. I love saying that since I've heard Rick and Morty saying smart people are able to take reality for a ride. I started liking using this phrase, take reality for a ride. You're not supposed to take this reality for a ride. It sucks, but that is the truth. If you are hated, you are probably doing something right. You are probably doing something right. I know there are things that people are doing that we feel are wrong, but I'm so conscious that I'm able to even to actually realize when people are doing things that everyone else thinks is wrong, but that is actually right. There are some things that I won't say that I know that these things are not necessarily wrong, but society is not ready to understand that. Society cannot side with that. So I'm like, even internationalists wouldn't side with that, and it's not really necessary for people to understand that. So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But the way that things work in this world isn't right. It isn't the way that things should work in a world where we are supposed to be free. In a world where there is a God that cares about us. You can see something isn't right, man. Like something is really off with this reality. Something is really off with this game that we're being forced to play. Even the fact that people are forced to play this game. And people will say, well, yeah, everyone must be forced to play this game because them not playing this game is evil, blah, blah. You're like, that's not evil. What's evil is forcing people to play a game that they do not want to play, and that is obvious. It's not something that we should be debating, but apparently people are not conscious enough to understand that. See, they're not themselves. They're programmed to be what they are. They are bots. Like they were programmed because they are bots. You understand what I'm saying? Because even if you're a bot, you are more conscious than a lot of these other bots. Because yes, there will be some things that are true that I'm going to say that you won't understand. But you're more conscious. So it's important that you keep on working on yourself. There are things that I might not really understand now, but I keep on working on myself, making sure that I evolve so that I will understand deeper truth. I shouldn't just be stuck with this level of understanding. I must try to understand more truth. And you can feel it when you have discovered some truth, or when you've reached higher levels of consciousness. You can feel it. It's if you're really interested in truth, you will. When you reach a new level of understanding, you will know that you've reached a new level of understanding. It will be very obvious to you. Remember, there ain't that many people that are doing what I'm doing. You have to understand, the people that are genuinely looking for the truth are less than 1%. Listen, people are genuinely looking for the truth in this world are less than 1 million. That is why you guys, when you text me, you say, oh, I have no one to talk to about what I think. Like everyone that you know seem to be a bot. They do not care about the truth. You have suffered not because you too weird or you're weak. For some people will think that, oh, I'm weak or 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 I'm unlovable. Like no, you've suffered because you were more conscious than the people around you. That's what happens. That what's going to happen. If you are more conscious than people around you, you are going to suffer. There's no other way. That's how things work in this realm. So of course you're not going to have anyone to talk to. Of course people are going to judge you for no good reason. Of course some people are going to say that you are evil. Of course some people are going to say that you're crazy because they do not understand you. They have not reached the level of consciousness where they can actually be able to understand you. And you live in a world where you're not supposed to be conscious. So even the forces that are behind the scenes, because they do not want you to be conscious, because they cannot benefit from you being conscious, they will try to oppress you and even use these bots to oppress you. You see, that's what's gonna happen, so that you will be like the rest of society, so that you just be like everyone else and just do what everyone else is doing. So if you really going to seek for truth, be prepared to suffer in ways that make no sense. Be prepared to be hated. Be prepared to be crucified. Like, just know that that's what comes with, operating at a high level of consciousness. Even if, and this is something that's very important to understand, even if you going to hide, like, okay, I'm conscious and I'll just be conscious and not talk about it, not try to make people see things from my perspective, not try to express myself, you are still going to suffer, because your own your own wisdom, your own intelligence is going to torture you. I feel better than I've ever felt because I'm able to make these videos. I make these videos daily because I have to express myself. You see, like I was saying to y'all, that like 2 days back, I was in this other show hosted by this guy is very popular, like very popular where I live. A lot of people were saying that I have demons. A lot of people were saying that I was sent by the devil. See, like that show was hosted live, and that didn't make me feel good, obviously. So I know that I have to make a video. I have to express myself. I have to tell y'all what I think because of what I have experienced. So okay, I've realized that when you speak the truth, people are going to say that you have demons, you were sent by the devil. They will say that God must help you, blah, blah, you know what I mean? You're lost, blah, blah, blah. Like, they'll never be open-minded enough to truly understand you, to truly understand where you're coming from. So I have to accept that about where we are. So part of me accepting that is me like making a video like this, talking about it, because that helps me feel better. That makes me feel better, being able to truly express myself. If I just decided that I'm gonna talk about what I've experienced, of course I wouldn't. I'll just bottle everything in. That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't help at all. So the more conscious you become, the more you gotta talk about what you understand. That's what's gonna help you. I do understand that we cope differently. Maybe that won't help you, but I do believe that if you express yourself as honestly as you can, you will be able to deal with reality better. Being able to speak your truth, being able to be more of who you really are, being able to learn. See, you shouldn't be in denial. If something happens and you are able to see that, okay, this is the truth, right? This is the truth. You shouldn't be in denial. You shouldn't be like, I don't prefer that this is the truth. Here's what I'm going to believe. Let's say I try to convince myself that people are not operating at a very low level of consciousness where I live. Maybe what I was saying didn't make a lot of sense to them, because that would be better for me to believe, like, okay, maybe I didn't make a lot of sense. I wouldn't be learning. I wouldn't be seeing things as they are. I would prefer that when I say things that don't make sense, people are able to see that, okay, what I'm saying doesn't make sense, than speaking the truth that makes the most sense and people still don't understand me. That's going to make me go like, whoa. Things are much worse than I thought. Especially for black, it's like they're operating at a very low level of consciousness compared to people in other countries. And that's sad. See, I don't want that to be true, because that would mean that there's no hope. I mean, that will actually mean that even the things that we've been through in the past, we've been through these things because of our level of consciousness, not really because they are these bad people that wanted to, control us. I mean, yeah, they've been bad people who wanted to control us, but I mean, not necessarily worse than we are, but when I realized that people are just operating at a very low level of consciousness, that made me feel very hopeless. How do we free ourselves if we are our own prison guards? See, we're prisoners and we're also gods. Like, the people who are controlling everything don't even have to do much, because we're doing their work for them. Can you imagine if you were in a prison and other prisoners wanted you to be in that prison because they didn't realize that it was a prison? So they forced you to comply, to just do everything that they've been told. Oh, this is how we live in this place. See, we gotta do this. They say we must do this, we must do that, and then they start to defend the people who've made them believe that they must do these things, they must do that. You see, that's what's happening in this world. There are things that we are doing just because we are dumb. Like, we've been convinced by some people who wanted to control us that we must do these things, and because we're not intelligent enough to realize that these things are holding us back, we're still doing these things. I hate that this is a place that I call home. I mean, this is where I am, but I'm gonna be more of who I am, because I think that is the best way to live life. The best way to live life is to really be who you really are. If you're going to be fake, I do believe that you're going to look back when you're on your deathbed. You're going to look back at your life and be like, what the F? I could have said this, I could have done this, I could have been more real, I could have been more honest, but I was scared, I was living in fear. I was afraid that other people are going to judge me. I was afraid that other people are going to hate me. I was afraid that other people are not going to treat me right because of what they believe about me. You know, that can also happen if you're not a Christian in a place where everyone is a Christian. Some people might not help you when you need their help. Why? Because, well, you are evil. In their eyes, you're the devil. So they're like, nope, I'm not helping this one. I'm actually doing the right thing by not helping this one. They might even steal from you and think they're doing the right thing because, well, God won't have a problem with that. You see, they're not doing anything that's hurting the child of God. You know, they're torturing the devil. So that's good. Man, reality is weird, man. But I think you must be more of who you are. You must be more honest with yourself. Stop living in fear. Stop allowing these negative feelings to conquer you. Stand for your truth no matter what. I don't care where you're at, you know. Stand for the truth in your family. If you feel like people in your family don't really understand you and they're not really fair, hey, speak your truth. Don't worry that much about consequences. Speak the truth and train yourself to speak the truth all the time. That's what's gonna help you. What's gonna help you is doing what is hard to do. It's not easy to be real in a world like this. It's not easy to go against the norms. People think they know how the world should be because of how they've been programmed to think. Even if the way that they believe the world should be is completely wrong and it will put them at a disadvantage, they'll still believe that that's how the world should be. They don't realize that they're prisoners. They don't realize that they're sheep. You gotta keep on waking up, man. I think that's the only way to like beat this game called life. I think that's the only way to beat the game. You keep on waking up. You keep on imposing your will on this reality, other than holding back. I think we hold back a lot because we've been trained to comply, you know. We've been trained to hold back. We've been trained to accept being oppressed. We have given our power away to people who don't give a shit about us. So we allow these people to oppress us. And because we've given them a lot of power, they are able to indoctrinate our children. I mean, if you're an internationalist, you've made a very good decision. You're not going to bring people into a world where they're going to lose. Even if, and this is something that's very important to understand, even if you bring a child into this world and things kind of go well for them, doesn't mean that they won. Trust me, they'll still have to live like a slave. They'll still have to not be truly honest. They'll still have to allow other people to use them. So yes, you can find yourself doing better than most people. That happens. And it seems like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do better than most people. Even if it means that we must do things that are wrong, or that are bad, or that we know we shouldn't do. We find ourselves doing these things because we want to be better than other people. It gets to a point where doing some of these things is just the only way to do better than other people. Like, you can't just win without doing some of these things that are actually not good. Things that you know deep down that, nah. If everything is upside down in the world, you shouldn't comply. I'm telling you, you shouldn't comply. You know, imagine if you were in hell, in the Christian vision of hell, and there were some rules that you were supposed to follow, and if you weren't following these rules, you'd suffer more. Would you think that it is right to actually comply? Would you think that it is actually best for me to comply? Or you just be complying because you're trying to not suffer? I was curious what that thing was. I was like, what? Guys, let's be more of who we are in this world, man. I do feel like I would regret not being real in the end, you know? I try to imagine myself on my deathbed thinking about all the times I've actually been fake in this world. All the time when I couldn't speak my truth, I mean their truth. Where I was just living like a coward. Like, nah, man. Everything is upside down. You're still gonna suffer even if you're not going to be honest. Even if you're not going to stand for the truth. There's no way out. So you rather suffer doing the right thing. And you'll get used to your suffering. You see? You can suffer by being trying to like always be in your comfort zone. You still suffer. It's just that you're used to your suffering. So you feel like, okay, that's better. You're not used to getting rejected by people. You're not used to being hated by people. So you think living in a shell is better. Like, nah. It isn't. It's much better if you are actually doing something that can help people. If you are able to speak the truth, try to speak sense into people, then that's better. That's a positive thing to do. That's something that you're gonna be proud of in the end. Like, yo, you can't say I haven't done the right thing. I am conscious for a reason. I'm not just conscious so that I'll complain about what's happening in the world every day. No, I'm conscious. Let me try to do something that's positive. And what is positive is to actually speak the truth. Even if people are not going to understand you. You see? It's really important, guys. I gotta start jogging again, man. I gotta start jogging again, I think. I used to feel much healthier when I was jogging. I think they're trying to build new stands here. Isn't that proof that the earth is becoming more and more overpopulated and there's gonna be more slaves? I wish there was like a shortcut. I think this is proof that Earth is becoming more and more overpopulated. It sucks, but that's the truth. People will tell you that nah, the whole Earth is not overpopulated because there's still a lot of space that's not occupied. No, the issue is that there are many people who don't have a place in society. There's lack of resources. Just the fact that there are a lot of people who don't know what to do. Like, they're just bored every day. They have no idea what to do. They don't even know how to be productive in the society. That alone should prove to you that this place is already overpopulated. There must be enough resources. People must know what to do. Jobs should look for people, not the other way around. People shouldn't look for jobs for like years. Like, oh, I can't even find a job, because I mean that sucks. Why is it so hard to actually find a decent job? People should be able to work the jobs that they actually like, just because these jobs are actually available. And if people do not want to work, it will be because they just do not want to work, rather than them being given jobs that they do not like. And if they don't want to do their job, we start saying they're just lazy and all that. Like, nah. Everything is upside down, guys. Stay woke. Thank you.